Good morning, ladies. So this is what 1,000 powerful, strong women in one place looks like. Thank you. Thank you very much to this organization for giving me this opportunity to share a little bit about my story and what my vision for our industry could be. I went from a rural small farming town in Alberta to the heart of BC's dope growing country, famous for its BC bud. We were surrounded by neighbors who grew, sold. It was cultural. I grew up with it from that point onwards. I didn't realize that it would take 30 years before I was able to actually participate in a proper legal industry. We began the process of applying in 2013 just based on a press release issued by the Prime Minister's office asking for expressions of interest in the possibility of commercialization. I had a business plan on their desk within 4 hours. I'd been waiting for this all my life. I had a tiny little place that wasn't like anyone else. Companies were pitching 75,000, 100,000 foot square facilities. But I knew that we hadn't figured out how to commercialize it yet, so it was better to start small, figure out your problems, and grow. We didn't do any financing before we got the license, and that was to keep value in the company. Any work we did ourselves, any money we used ourselves was money we didn't have to give away to someone else later. We raised $500,000 in May. $1 million tried to come in. We decided to do a reverse takeover, which is exactly what the prior lady explained, and it is hell, and you do lose a lot of your soul in the process, but it is a way to get liquidity for investors. We raised $3 million, $12 million tried to come in. If I was still back in the tech world, that would have been newsworthy, a 400% oversubscription, but in our industry, not so interesting. When we took the company public in September of 2014, on opening day, our stock cap was $25 million. It eventually hit $50 million 3 months later. Well, thank you. We were the 5th license issued, and because we were allowed to produce and sell direct to consumers by mail order, it made us unique on earth to be able to do the entire value chain in one company. But what you see before you started coming out earlier on in the corporation's life. And it came to the point where continuing with the company would cause it difficulties in future financing, or at least that was the perception. And there were other issues at hand, personal. During the time that I put this company together, took it public, I was also a single parent of a 16-year-old daughter going on 34. And as any of you know, that is a full-time job. But I also want you to know you can do it. You can have a family. You can take a company public. You can raise money. If I can do this, you can do this. But what about her dream? I had suddenly a year off. I was in a forced non-compete. I couldn't use the knowledge that I had just gained. I was one of 2 public company marijuana CEOs out there that was available, but I couldn't do anything. So I decided to think about the industry on both sides of the borders and share some things. The important thing is, this is a mountain of gold that goes up into the sky. You can't see the top of it. It's covered in clouds. And yet we're fighting about how to go over and just pick up the gold that's lying there. We're trying to figure out what kind of trucks we should use. What will be the ideal rotation of drivers? No, walk over, pick it up, put it in our pockets, and buy some trucks, and then fill up those trucks, and then we'll decide what kind of trucks, okay? We can have the conversation, but let's have the conversation while we're walking, okay? We've waited 30 years. There is no competition. Demand is 2,000, supply is 1. If every single one of you grew every plant you could possibly grow, there will still be people waiting for the next people to grow. Wasting your money on competition right now just dissipates your energy. Focus on what you do. Make it the best. Forget about everyone else. Let Darwin sort it all out. But what's your dream? What is it that you're trying to pursue that everyone's saying, no, you can't do that. You don't have the skills. You don't have that knowledge. Other people got there first. They're better capitalized. Everyone's going to tell you you can't do it. Everyone told me I couldn't do it. Everyone told me this wasn't possible. But it is. And if this is possible, you can do it. Only focus on the things you love doing. So if you find an aspect of your industry that keeps you awake at night, it gets you up early in the morning, that's your passion. You may also be doing the website, looking after the staff, cleaning toilets, but you have to focus on what you're good at and find other people that love those other things that you're bad at. You need to have them bolster you. Be generous with everybody, but don't try to wipe tears with stock. You will regret it. Your founder shares are not free. Just because it's a thousandth of a penny doesn't mean they're worthless. In 10 years, they could be worth $100 each, and you have an idiot with you. Nothing sucks more than your hard work being bled by people that don't do anything. Why is it going backwards? Sorry. Don't fear compliance. So what we have in Canada is probably the most ridiculous regulated system in the world. We have to do everything with security. That's literally, if we stored heroin, we would require less security than to store marijuana. True. Don't be afraid of it. This will protect your company from litigation. The only reason why there isn't any lawsuits over recalls right now, they can't sue you. You legally don't have any money. Once you're legal, though, every recall you have will be followed by a class action. If you do not have your QA nailed to the wall, you are screwed. Be proud of everything you're doing right now. Use that to fill yourself up. You can't rely on others. This is the most important medical revolution since the invention of antibiotics. Be proud. You're pioneers. You're leaders. There's women underneath that are now looking at you and saying, damn, I can do this. This is important. And while everybody else is fighting over who's got the biggest brand, and we know what that means, women are going to keep growing. And when the men announce finally the winner of the biggest dick contest, we'll say, that's nice, dear, wash your hands, it's dinner time.